right, let's start off with the first fight. We're starting out the main card actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, we are.
Some good superstar power here.
Yeah, we are.
Ian Machado Garry versus Michael Page.
Yep.
Ian Machado Garry, he's 14-0, a minus 120 favorite for my bettors out there.
Yep.
Michael Page is 22-2. Nice plus 100 underdog.
Nice little underdog there.
Looking at the tail of the tape here, Rob, see if we can get some information. Height, they're both 6'3". Weight, both 170. Age, Ian is 26
compared to the older Michael V and Page, who's 37. That 11-year age gap is really going to play a different.
That's going to be a big
factor for sure.
The reach, 74 for Ian. He's got 74.5-inch reach versus Michael Page, who's 79. And I think that 4.5-inch reach is going to play a factor for Page, which we'll talk about. The stance. Ian Garry fights at orthodox. Michael Page fights switch, so he likes to switch it up, switch his stances up. We're looking at the significant strikes landed per minute. Ian Garry's got him there with 6.2. Michael Page is 3.1. With a significant strike accuracy, though, Michael Page 76%, Ian Garry 58%. So a little bit of an edge to the accuracy for Page there. Takedown average, check this out. Michael Page has a higher takedown average, 0.77 versus Ian Garry, 0.55. But the takedown accuracy is going to go to Ian Garry, 75%, Michael Page, 25%, and 0 for both fighters on the submission average. So we're going to get a stand-up fight.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, it's 100% going to be a stand-up fight. For Michael Venom Page, be careful when it comes to tailgate, because this might be just based on the UFC performance, not his overall performance as far as his UFC MMA career. Because sometimes the UFC will only put information for the fighters based on their UFC accolades. But man, we've got a really, really good fight in here. Like Richard said, it's gonna be a stand-up affair for sure. I like where Ian Garry's at, the minus 120. I gotta lean towards that, man. Okay. I think Ian Garry being in the same fire card as Conor McGregor is definitely a big confidence for him. He said it ever since his UFC debut. He's not here to take part, he's here to take over, and he believes that he's gonna be champion one day. And I do think he has Michael Venom Page standing in his way, but Ian Garry is gonna be able to do it with better striking. He's very patient. I do think he's the more durable fighter, and I see Ian Garry getting the win by unanimous, maybe split decision.
What I'm leaning more towards is the over, whether it's over 1.5
or over 2.5.
Or over 2.5. I just think the fight will go the distance.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
No matter who wins, I think it's going to be a decision win or TKO. I don't think anyone gets submitted. But I'm leaning more towards the decision and the over. If I had to pick a fighter, I think I'm going to go with the plus 100 dog.
Okay.
Michael Venom Page. But it's going to be a wicked fight and a great way to start the card.
A great way to start the card. They're going to really be standing up the whole time, like I had mentioned, a stand-up affair. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful seeing Ian Garry, handle that pressure of being in the same car as Conor McGregor as idol. And it's going to be beautiful to see Michael Page, fight a fight besides his UFC debut and see what he really does bring in to the UFC. I'll say it again, I got Ian Garry. There's no loss to Michael Page losing to a young buck coming up in the rankings. A matter of fact, in the rankings, Ian Garry, I believe he's number 5 compared to Michael Page, which is number 14. So it's honestly a blessing for Page. So let's see if he can capitalize on that. But hopefully not. My money's on Garry.
Which is crazy, right? Because Page is 37. He's older. He's been in this game longer. Ian Garry's 26. Yet, Page is looking at Garry as the ticket. Because if he beats Garry, he's going to take all of his.
Yep, that is correct.
All of his team. So just interesting.
The older man is looking for the younger guy for a blessing. That is correct.
Let's keep it moving. We got Joe Pyfer taking on Marc Abdre Barriault. Joe Pyfer, he's 12-3. Okay, that's 12 wins, 3 losses. Marc Abdre Barriault is 16-7. Guys, I don't got the odds right in front of me right now, so you have to check that on your own. Height, 6'2" for Joe Pyfer. Marc Abdre is 6'1". They're both coming in at 185 pounds. Joe Pyfer is 27 years old. Marc Abdre is 34 years old. Joe Pyfer, the reach for Joe Pyfer is 75 inches and Marc Abdre 74 inches. They both fight orthodox, so right there so far, pretty close besides the age. Okay. Now we're going into the significant strikes landed per minute. We got Marc Andre winning that with a 6.1. Joe Pyfer 3.6. The accuracy, the significant strike accuracy, 50% for Marc Andre, 41% for Pyfer. So on paper, that's 2 that goes to Andre.
Yep.
Takedown average, you got to give that to Joe Pyfer at 1.5, with Marc Andre having a .22 takedown average.
Yep.
Then the takedown accuracy for Joe Pyfer is 42%, Marc Andre 25%. So far 2-2 here. Looks like Pyfer's got on paper, Pyfer's got the edge on the ground. And then the submission advantage, 0.9 for Joe Pyfer, 0.1 for Marc Andre. So on paper, Joe Pyfer's got a little bit better stats, mostly on the ground. Maybe that's where this fight stays. Based on those stats so far, Rob, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Man, my thoughts on this fight are gonna be very clear, man. I got Joe Pyfer by TKO.
Okay.
I think this is gonna be a very quick and very fun fight. I think Joe Pyfer, if you guys don't remember Joe Pyfer, the name, man, he's that guy that Dana White was preaching about in the Contender Series, because he's the only one who went out there and didn't think about a decision. He thought about pure knockout, pure entertainment. He thought about, hey, I don't get paid here by the minute. I get paid here for my performance, right? So that's Joe Pyfer, just to tell you that he's the guy who goes out there and perform. As you can tell by his record, it was submission, TKO, TKO, TKO. So what I'm trying to say is take Joe Pyfer with the under. Now Marco, on the other hand, he's very up and down, very inconsistent. He'll have a win, have a loss. He'll have to win, loss.
Inconsistency is scary.
Yeah, and we can't go through that. Joe Pyfer's he's very upset about his last performance. You know, he went against a veteran, Jack Hermanson, 5 rounds. So it was a very tough fight for him, but he did very good. And I think this time around on Saturday night, he's gonna get the W.